Hello, welcome to the Situation Room, and this is the Election Bureau, the place to stay with all throughout this 2024 elections. Now, yesterday we took you through the presidential analysis for the Western region. Today our focus is on the parliamentary. How does it pan out in the Western region for the parliamentary elections? You want to stay with us for today's edition? We'll be right back.
Have not shown sign of settling down.
Oh, you don't mean it. Power to deliver disability.
I might have a solution.
You take this and spray twice. Shake the gem. Place it on your lips and say the magic word. Yes. You, my darling, are unlucky in love.
Welcome back to the Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kai-Loko. Today we're looking at the parliamentary areas for the Western region. Bernard Avle, here with us at Channel 1 TV, as well as City FM, will take us through the analysis and the figures and all that around that. You know, the campaign is intensifying. Vice President now and the MPP's flag bearer is in Ahafo. You know, and he told them they should stay away from skirt and blouse voting. You know, we see that around some places in the country, but Western region parliamentary, do we see that, or it's a clear one? You go for APP, you go for, or we see some aspects of
there's
that?
a very good question. There's a correlation between presidential and parliamentary for this region. So you don't see a lot of skirt and blouse. So the way to see this is just look at the map. This is the presidential map for 2012 and the presidential map for parliamentary map for 2012. So apart from Wassa Amenfi East, which voted presidential, MPP, and parliamentary NDC. Everything else is the same.
Okay, that's
no,
good.
There's also another one, Ahanta. So there are two actually. This Ahanta West, which voted presidential for MPP, in 2012 voted parliamentary for NDC. So there was a flip. Whilst Wassa Amenfi East did 2 MPP presidential, they did NDC parliamentary. Okay. So you notice that in 2012, NDC won 10 seats and MPP won 7 seats. Okay. All right. So even though the flow in the chart is similar, there were 2 skirt and blouses in 2012. Okay. Where MPP's president did well, but NDC took the parliament. All right. Now let's do 2016. And just compare to see how the map changes for the two types of elections.
So this is 2016.
So in 2016, it's the opposite. There are more green here, but more blue here. So if you count the greens here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So NDC wins 6 out of the 17.
17, yeah.
So it means NPP wins 11 presidential compared to 6. But parliament, they win only 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh no.
And then NPP wins
takes all the rest.
13.
Yeah.
So MPP parliamentarians do better than the president in 2016. So NDC has only 4 seats in 2016. Yeah. In 2012 was a different situation. Now let's look at 2020 and see how the situation changes for skirt and blouse, because I'm sure that's where your question is taking me. 2020, ooh.
Hey. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Is that, am I correct?
Yes, so in 2020,
9 actually.
It's a split between 9, 8.
Yeah.
9 MPP, 8 NDC.
NDC, yeah.
Presidential, MPP wins a few more because the MPP adds this one. So even though, so this don't forget, this is a parliamentary seat where the Jomoro MP is being contested.
Yes.
So NPP wins one extra presidential constituency, but NDC wins the parliamentary. So this is the first lesson we learned, which is why when you take the 3 electoral cycles, NDC, MPP, MPP, this even makes it clearer. NDC, MPP, MPP, NDC, MPP, MPP. But the devil is in the detail. In 2012, it's 50% NDC, 47 MPP. MPP 55-41, 50-46. Okay. Come to parliamentary, 10-7, 13-4, and 9-8. So now you can say it's split.
Splits for 2020.
So the region is Chimpe status.
Interesting one there. So this is for 2020. No, this is for the 2012 all the way to 2020.
So by 2020. So Vivian, this is my first big thing I'm going to say. 2024 will see a lot of interesting contests in the Western region. Because some races have gotten much closer. And this Chimpe thing is going to get worse. Okay. My prediction is that NDC may win more.
You see the Greens having it for that.
The trend, because it's trending upwards.
So,
and a lot of developments within the region suggest that on parliament, don't forget that Akufo-Addo held the region for president. So Bami has to prove himself here. But the MPs, we can easily say that the trend seems to be NDC, and I'll pick a few constituencies to demonstrate
I was going to say, so let's see, because obviously you've studied quite a number of constituencies leading to that. So which are your hot spots for Western region?
All right, let me in this instance, let me start with the 8. You know, we did the 8 key constituencies for
the presidential.
So where we'll have close races in the 8. Can you remember the 8? Just remember Takrady.
So we have Takrady, we have Ifia, we have Kwesimintim, we have Sekondi, Esikado, Mpoho, and then Shama,
and then we have Ahanta West. Good. I am going to say that keep an eye on at least 4 for parliamentary. Keep an eye on Shama,
Esikado.
Keep an eye on Esikado. Keep an eye on Ahanta West, and keep an eye on Kwesimintim.
Okay, so let's start with
Which one do you want me to start with?
Let's start with Esikado, because Jogate is going.
Esikado is easy to say because of the difference in presidential and parliamentary votes. Very good point you mentioned. So Esikado, right? Now, I want you to look at something. Akufo-Addo got 65% of the votes. Mahama got 32%. This is 2020.
Yeah.
Esikado. It's not even close. Almost, in fact, Akufo-Addo got double of Mahama. They are not classmates here.
At all, yeah.
All right.
Parliamentary.
I want to give you the number of votes. So for that, I'll click on Esikado.
Good.
Look at that.
Let
it sink in. Go back and look at this. So, Akufo-Addo got double the votes of Mahama.
Yeah.
Grace Ayensu Dankwa and Jogate. Look at what's going on.
Yeah. Because this was pretty close.
It's a major story.
Pretty close.
In fact, some people think
that
Grace Ayensu Dankwa should have won that thing. Because I mean, guys, look at this. This is if you want anything. So even though MPP won the 2, this is skirt and blouse.
Yeah.
Because where is the independent candidate? 629. See, in fact, in 2016, the third group had 2,000. This is just 600. So this is not any independent anything. This is Grace Ayensu Dankwa eating into Jogate to a point where he's gasping for breath.
Yeah.
And Akufo-Addo is in a comfortable. It's not even an issue. In fact, look at Akufo-Addo. In 2012, he had 56%. All right. This makes it clearer. 56% in 2012. 2016, 67. 2020, he's just 65. So he hasn't. Mahama hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
But look at this person. And this is Jogate in 2012. Comfortable victory. Comfortable 10,000 gap. So this is 8,000, 10,000 gap. What is going on here? All right. So this is the first place to watch. Why? Because MPP Having realized, of course, Yogati went for president, so
Yeah.
he can't go back. So they brought in Charles Bisu.
Charles Bisu, yeah.
Charles is an MPP boy,
Yeah.
and he's married to an MPP girl,
Yeah.
who's now in
Has come to
North.
Accra from
So-
the eastern side.
So Charles Bisu has survived some very troubling times.
Yeah.
Anas documentary,
Yes.
mining,
Yes.
his name came up. So the question for Isikado is, the question is not whether
The
MPP will
presidential
win.
will be a problem.
The
It's
question is whether
parliamentary.
Grace Ayuso-Danko has made enough inroads
to topple or
And
to win against.
to be more popular than Charles,
Yes.
or whether Grace Ayuso-Danko's vote was a protest to Joe. Yeah. Now, if Grace Ayuso-Danko got votes because people don't like this man,
They're fed up
if
with
MPP
him.
has chosen somebody normal, expect this type of thing to occur.
Yeah.
But if she is strong on her own, and you can say she's deeper than Charles, then Charles is new. I think this tells you that this is an MPP constituency. So even though this is mighty close, and this person was unpopular, once he couldn't win it here, it's going to be very difficult
Yeah.
to beat Charles because of this. Of course, this is not going to remain the same because
So you feel that the loss here was because of this,
yes,
not because of the
no,
elephant.
because Akufo-Addo has not reduced popularity. Now we know that there are different issues in the election this
Yeah.
year, so MPP may lose.
reduce your numbers.
But for me, this was the best chance. So I think it's the question for the voters to know. I think it depends on how much more work she's done and how much work Charles has done to repair this problem.
Yeah.
But clearly, there's an issue there.
Yeah.
Clearly, there's an issue there.
So that's a close one we'll see and one to look out for.
Yes.
Because of the personalities and the party influence from the MPP
Yes.
side. Okay. So Isikado.
So keep an eye on this card. Write it in your notes.
I've written it here. So let's move to the next
I think the
one.
next one is Shama.
Okay.
I'm bringing Shama. Where is Shama? Let me remove Isikado and just bring Shama. It's just a good thing to look at, right? Let's look at Shama because of its history. Don't forget, Shama was, when I did 2012, let me remind you of Shama. When I did 2012 Shama, 2012 was one of the places in the top in NPP's aid that NDC won. And I told you that their neighbor is KEEA. So Shama has flipped from NDC comfortably to MPP for presidential. All right. But 2012 NDC did win it. Okay. Now let me come to 2020 for Shama. Okay. Now 2020 Akufo-Addo takes it back. No contest there. Again, let me go to Shama. Give me. Very good. Now, the reason I think we should take a close look at Shama is that the gap is closing. In 2012, NDC won it very slightly. All right. Now, 18,000 to 17,000. So MPP had already made inroads. And in 2016, they proved it with a 5,000 gap victory. But in 2020, they reduced it. They jumped from 15 to 19. And these guys jumped from only 20 to 22.
Yeah.
It's closing. All right. Now, there appear to be some initial issues in MPP here. And NDC has brought back
Emilia
Good, who
presidential
gels
staffer
with the
and
Fisher
then-
folk.
Yeah.
So you can say NDC has a better candidate and MPP has some initial challenges there.
Yeah.
And the trend seems to be closing. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when you call a name tomorrow, you can ask him to give you more this. But I'm saying that I'm just looking at the numbers. All right. The fact that this, look at this, 55-41, it's not even close.
Yeah.
But look at this. This is 55%, 41%. But the parliament is very close.
Very, very
So
close.
there's some issue here.
Yeah.
Right? Now, we don't know why NDC didn't maintain this guy.
Yeah.
But you can say that Emilia Arthur, with her national connections, may have more resources.
They have, yeah.
And so may do a much. So take a close look at Shama.
Yeah.
Take a close look at Shama. Now, Shama is I can't make a prediction. I'm just saying, it's not like, I can't
You can
predict.
say that it's going to go
No, I'm
here or
just saying
here
take a
based on
close look at
anything.
it.
Okay, so
Take a close look at
one
Shama.
to look out for, because it's difficult to
But it's
call.
going to much closer. Even if MPP wins the parliamentary, it's going to much closer.
So that's a neck-to-neck one.
Because the margin was 3,100.
Okay.
Right. There couple more I want you to look at. Ahanta West. Now, Ahanta West for me is because of a new development. All right. So I'm in Ahanta West, right? So Ahanta West is at the bottom here. It's close to Takrady.
Yeah.
And then let's remove this. All right. Now, Ahanta West. MPP has won it pretty well. But again, so let's go to presidential. 55% to 42. 67 to 30. 60 to 34. So presidential.
No issue there.
Not a problem.
Okay.
All right. My
Parliamentary.
issue though is look at the closeness of the parliamentary race. Now, interestingly, in 2012, even though MPP won the president, NDC took the parliament 21 to 20. So it is very personality based.
Yeah.
So you can say that generally the Takrady spillover gives MPP a natural presidential advantage. But the parliamentary situation is similar to the Shama issue, where personalities, look at that. NDC actually took it in 2012 ever so slightly. And don't forget, Ahanta West and Shama are at the extreme ends of the Takrady. The Takrady enclave,
the demarcation you
as
did.
I showed you, yes. So 2016 was not a problem. 30,000 to 13,000, not a problem. But look at 2020. 27, 23.
Wow.
Very close. Now the other problem is that this man, for the whole, almost the 4 years of this
been
government,
unwell.
has not been well. Now that affects development. That
Yeah.
affects visibility.
Yeah.
You get it? I mean, he got 51%. Okay, so this is going to be a major problem for MPP, for the new candidate to explain why they didn't see as much development as they ought to have seen.
Well, I mean, they should have known the guy
Of course.
wasn't. He
Yeah,
had
but
to resign.
I'm just
and all
saying.
that. I mean, step down.
So this is closing.
by-election and
Keep
all
an eye on Ahanta West. Again,
Okay.
you call a name. Let me do the last of the four that I think will be interesting.
Okay. So we've done two.
Yeah.
We've done Jogati's constituency,
Esikado
Esikado, and then Shama,
So
and
Esikado
then Ahanta West.
is because there's a new candidate for MPP,
Yeah.
and then this is maintaining a popular
The
candidate.
popular candidates.
Shama, because the gap is closer, and this
Yeah.
is brought a candidate you think may be much
yeah,
stronger.
Yeah.
This one because of the challenges of the incumbent MPP
Yeah.
and the changes they've made.
Yeah.
Now, the last one that I think will be interesting is Kwesimintim. Kwesimintim has been comfortable for MPP. The only reason I bring it up is because of some a few issues around the former MP who is going independent. All right. So in Kwesimintim, the former boss of NACA
Dr. Prince Amarai.
is the MP. Okay, so no problem much. But for some reason, the former MP,
Went independent.
yes, and the campaign that he is running, even though he's not campaigning that much, some of the executives in Kwesimintim are campaigning and saying they shouldn't vote for him. There seems to be acrimony there. The other is that NDC has a pretty good candidate. You remember the Takrady girls?
Yes.
The lawyer for the
One of the girls.
families.
Yeah.
This guy is a lawyer for most of the Takrady cases. Is a lawyer, so
He's
NDC has a
doing
guy
it.
who's very popular. Okay, NDC has a popular guy, and then there are a few problems for MPP by way of unity. Kwesimintim is very tiny,
Okay.
very good. So I'm saying keep an eye on Kwesimintim. I mean, Prince Ahmad did well, no problem. But because of the independent candidate who has
They
refused,
split the-
and he's
the
a
votes
former
for
MP.
him.
You see, if there's just
Oh, I remember this one. Fifi Bachman.
yes,
Okay.
yes, you remember this guy.
Yeah.
So if this is a big gap.
Yeah.
All right, this guy is a deputy minister
Yeah.
for work, so he's a good. I mean, he was NACA. I mean, this guy's political trajectory has been solid.
It's been good,
He
yeah.
came in under Napo to be NACA, and then he became deputy minister in the
Deputy
second term.
minister in the
His
second
stock is rising.
Yeah.
He needs to deal with some issues in his constituency because this guy's and this guy is pretty popular. So even though there isn't a closing in, it's one to watch, but not as much as the other three.
Okay.
But if the independent candidate gets resources and tries to do damage, it may affect him.
Okay. So you've given us 4.
In the Takrady,
That's
the 4, but there are others.
So I'll have to take a quick one. Once we come back, we'll go to the others. This is the Situation Room. Here with Bernard Avila. We're looking at the parliamentary elections for the Western region. 17 constituencies make up that region. We've taken you through 4 hotspots, but there are more. We'll do that when we come back. Don't go away.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working? How?
Who's that?
Welcome to the point of.
You're welcome back to the Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kai Loco here with Bernard Avila. We're looking at the Western region, looking at the parliamentary elections for that region from 2016 all the way to 2020. We've taken you through some of the hotspots, 4 of them. Bernard, Kwesimintim, Esikado.
Yes.
We
have Shama.
Shama. And then
we have
Ahanta
West.
Ahanta West.
There's some interesting developments in Sekondi, but I don't expect Ejapa Mensah to suffer though. But let's just see Sekondi. Okay. Just for, as they say, for shege reasons. For shege. Because Ejapa Mensah is now the Minister for Tourism. He was Deputy Energy Minister. Nationally quite popular. The trouble with this, our politics, is that you can be popular nationally.
Oko boys suffer that. You are popular
struggling
nationally.
Yes. So Sekondi is not necessarily a problem for NPP. 55-43-2012. This NDC is best. 63-35. It's not even close. Basically maintains, right? And again, you can say he moved from 20,000 to 24,000, 8,000 to 13,000. All right. So, no, sorry. Let me pick Sekondi. Yeah. Forgive me. Yes. Ejapa Mensah. All right. So it's a 7,000 gap. It's not very easy to close the gap.
Yeah. That's one.
When you notice that a lot of deputy ministers in the central region lost in 2020.
Yeah.
My theory is that when people start doing well nationally, sometimes local issues tend to affect them. So all 4 deputy ministers in the first term of Akufo-Addo in central region lost. Now, Mensah for me is okay from an Accra perspective, but some of the issues locally suggest that, you know, he's a national figure now. We don't know if he's as concentrated on his locality as, because when you become a national figure, the assignments are many.
But I don't know, but from where I see him, when this mining thing came up, he appears to be in touch with the people.
No, he is.
You know,
so what we'll do, I mean, I don't see the seat. It's not flipping.
Side, yeah.
But it's just an interesting one to watch.
So
now, let's do the 3 Nzema.
The Nzema side. I want you to start with. I want to know one because I see the MPP making inroads there, even though the guy there is still very strong.
Which one are you looking at?
Ellembele.
Okay, so why don't we start with Jomoro?
Okay.
Because let's start from Jomoro. All right, this is where the NPP has managed to win presidential twice. All right. Now, look at what's happening in Jomoro, presidential. Before we come to parliamentary, look at this. In 2012, it was 58 to 35%. This, you would have said it's a comfortable seat. Somehow, NPP splits it in 2016 and keeps it. So they win it in 2 electoral cycles. All right. Now, let's come to Jomoro for parliamentary. Okay. This is very interesting. Don't forget that in 2008, Samia won that seat. NDC wins it in 2012, NPP wins in 2016, NDC wins back in 2020. It is a very unpredictable seat. I think the other one to watch, apart from the 4 I gave you,
It's Jomoro.
it is going to. I mean, what is this? Let's look at this. What is this? What is this?
This is crazy.
What is this? It's not even following this pattern. It is just unbelievable. And the red line, look at this red line. In 2020, the red line is 10,000 Samia.
Yeah.
So there's also this Samia situation where 24,000, 19,000, 10,000 to Samia Nkrumah.
Yeah.
And this matter is also in court. He went to court. I mean, this is just
over here, citizenship.
Jomoro is going to be a place to watch.
Okay, so that's Dorcas Toffe, right?
Yes, she got 44% to win because there was a 36% for MPP, and then there was a big chunk for Samia Nkrumah.
Okay.
So it is
So-
a very confusing situation.
Oh,
And mind you,
look at that one.
the strong man in that enclave is Ama Kofi Boa. Right? So Ama Kofi Boa is Ellembele, who took over from another strong man. He took over from another strong man by name Freddie Blay. Good. So there's a book.
When you take over there.
Politics of Strong Men.
Yeah.
All right. Again, presidential is not a problem, even though it was very close in 2016. 58-40 NDC. 53-43 NDC. 50-47. So NDC held it off in 2016, managed to take it back to not same 2012, but so Mahama gets 10% gap.
Yeah.
Or 10,000 vote gap in 2020, right? 10,000 vote gap. 53,000.
Yeah,
no, 53%.
10%.
5,000 vote gap.
Yeah.
10%. Forgive me. 5,000 vote gap. I think
So let's see.
Kofi Boa.
Parliamentary.
Kofi Boa
You feel it's
is
going to take
much
it easy?
stronger than Mahama. Why? Mahama gets 30,000 votes. Kofi Boa gets 32,000 votes. Right? The closest MPP got was in 2016 when it was a 3,000 vote battle. Kofi Boa has made it back to 9,000.
Okay.
So I'm not sure of the situation with Kwesi and don't forget a lot of
But
challenges.
some say Kwesi Bonso is making serious inroads. You still think it's not good enough to,
I think Kofi Boa's
at least
influence,
reduce the numbers.
Kofi Boa's influence is beyond simply Ellembele. It goes to constituencies around. He's a center of.
That's very true.
And he's been NDC Minister for Energy.
Yeah.
He's from there. Atuabo is there because of him. He's very powerful. So the fact that he's been able to even push, there was a whole debate about where to locate that gas thing.
True.
It was through him that it went to Ellembele because the real thing is not supposed to be there.
Very true.
Kofi Boa, if MPP couldn't win it in 2016, there's no way you're going to do anything here. So his gap is much more than even Mohammed's gap.
Okay.
Right.
So here maybe the best we may see is a little votes, towards.
From what I'm told, I don't even expect
it may even go up for.
I mean, the numbers speak for themselves, right? It's opening up. If you look at trends, if you look at the trend is that the blue and the green are. You get my point. His trend is this was close to 2016. 2020 is opened it up 9,000, right?
Yeah.
So I don't see how.
So you don't see any problem here. Okay.
Same to I don't see. Let's look at the
third one.
Is
the
where
third one.
Evalue-Ajomoro.
Yeah.
Is that the name?
Yeah.
Evalue-Ajomoro-Gwira.
Gwira.
It's a compound name. Evalue-Ajomoro. Very interesting that this constituency has been made popular
by our own friend Catherine
Afeku. Now, the reason I think this is a very interesting one to watch is a couple of things, right? So, again, President NDC wins it.
Yeah.
Even though the gap is not that big,
yeah.
It's an NDC,
yeah.
right? Yeah. 56, 50, 52 presidential, no problem there. Mahama wins it with a healthy.
About
almost 10%.
10%, yeah.
All right.
Almost nine something, yeah. Almost.
Now, this is going to be interesting because Catherine Afeku has won this before.
Yeah.
In 2016, she was the MP.
Yeah.
All right. And she actually, in Kufuor's time, was also there.
Yeah.
So she's resilient. She's very well known there.
Yeah.
Couple of things. Some people perceived that she was an Alan supporter initially. That could have given her a few problems. But I think she's back in the fold.
Yeah.
She's back in the fold. So she will be strong. And NDC is also strong. So it's going to be very tight in Evalue-Ajomoro-Gwira. This is not a very big gap.
Yeah.
It's just 2,000. 2,500 is not very, it's not very. It's going to be very tight. So it's possible to do skirt and blouse. You could see, it's possible. I don't have all the details, but what I'm saying is that if you look at Mahama did pretty well here. You don't expect NDC to lose this presidential one, but it could be, anything can happen here.
A blouse there, not
yes, so, and the blouse could be an elephant. It's possible.
Right. So another interesting one.
Yeah, so it's very dicey. Of course, not as confusing as Jomoro. Jomoro is the West in terms of the uncertainty, but this one certainly is one to look out for.
Okay.
All right. Now, so of the three, just to summarize, of the three, I think president-wise, their steady state has been NDC, except Jomoro, which for some reason has not done NDC, but these two have given NDC. The parliament is where you can't tell. So keep an eye on Jomoro and keep an eye on Evalue-Ajomoro. After Ellembele, I don't expect any issue there.
The Mugabe there will come out strong, you believe?
That's from what I see, but you can always check this with I'm using numbers and trends.
Yeah.
You can always use you can speak to a name and
see whether I will see. But I think I agree with you. I don't see Emmanuel Amakofi-Boa losing that seat. You know.
But you notice that the parliamentary seats are always closer.
Yeah.
So the presidential seats are always bigger. The parliamentary seats are always closer because somehow a president can be popular but have an unpopular parliamentarian, and an opposition leader can be popular but have a deputy minister who is more, popular. So they split the.
Okay, so this is interesting. Any more constituencies to look at?
So we've done the Takrady enclave.
Yes.
We've picked 4 of them.
The Nzima enclave as well.
So the 4 I picked was Shama,
Esikado,
Ahanta West, and then to an extent Kwesimintim, I'm not sure.
That we said.
Then for this, I've told you that this one parliamentary, send a reporter there.
At all costs. It's part of our hotspot.
And Jomoro, send a reporter there. Now, what I'm going to do now is to take you to the more interesting mining enclave.
Side. Okay.
The big mining 3.
Sure. All right. I'll take a quick break.
Okay.
A quick one. And then we'll go to the mining enclave. We'll also explore the issue around the mining discussion now. Yes. And then, we looked at the numbers recently, whether the statement that we keep hearing, the MPP lost a lot of seats, it's true, and we saw something different.
I'll show you something there.
So, I'm sure you have a lot there. Yeah. So, I'll take a quick one. When I come back, I would zoom into the mining side in the Western region for parliamentary. It's a Situation Room. This is the Election Bureau. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working how?
Who's that?
Now we're moving to the mining areas. A lot of discussions around mining now, especially with illegal mining, and some statements over what the implications will be in these particular constituencies for both parties. Would it lead to a loss for the MPP based on their actions around the fight against illegal mining, or will be a good one for the NDC? We'll look at that now. Bernard, what is it like with the mining side?
The mining is a very interesting place. We actually did something where we grouped mining communities. All right. I don't know if we have it here, but I had a breakdown for mining communities, but maybe I'll show you that later on. The three constituencies that we call the big mining are Prestea Huni Valley, Takwa and Siayem, and then Wassa East. Now, Prestea Huni Valley, NDC holds it presidentially, even though 2016 was mighty close. All right, 2012, 56-42, big gap. 2016, 49-47, very close.
Yeah.
So you see how the map comes in. But look at 2020.
2020.
It's even more serious than 20. So this is a major over. Basically, NDC took it back with great strength.
Yeah.
All right. Second problem. Even though NDC wins it in 2016 presidential only just, but Rotin Jesse wins it parliamentary with a healthy 4,000 votes. So Rotin Jesse was very popular in 2016. Yeah. Even though Mahama won it in 2016, Rotin Jesse became MP, became deputy minister. Yeah. Now, I think this is one of the places where the president is pained. He believes the Galamsey fight, the deputy minister, affected their presidential. So he said he put his presidential in line. He basically said, I lost. Look at this.
Yeah.
I lost. My votes dwindled from 49% to 38%.
Yeah.
I lost, look at the gap, almost 20,000 votes. He believes it was his Galamsey fight that did it. NDC came roaring back with Robert Wilson Kujo, taking over the parliamentary seat, but NDC got below 40%. Yeah. All right. This is a place that the MPP believes. And by the way, this is one of the places where Galamsey and mining is very, very important. Very big. Which is why the MPP keeps saying the NDC should sign a pact that they will not politicize Galamsey. They feel that an incumbent government suffers in these communities.
Yeah.
And if an incumbent government wants to fight Galamsey, because a lot of the people's livelihoods depend on it in mining, they will fight you. Yeah. That's why people even brought out videos of people like, I think there was a video of an NDC, one of the organizers, together with Tony Obin and co campaigning, and then telling the miners, because MPP feels that NDC used the Galamsey fight they were doing to create this major situation.
Leading to the loss for the MPP.
Yes. So I think Prestea is going to be very interesting. And by the way, it has a lot of new voters too.
Yes.
It's a huge constituency now. Lots of migrants have moved in. The dynamics are very different.
So the dynamics here will be very, very different. So, so one to look out for. Okay.
Yes. I'm not going to tell you who's going to win because I don't know. But if you want to see whether this past 2 months Galamsey fight has made an impact on the local community, look at Prestea.
Okay. So we'll see who suffers at Prestea for 2024 parliamentary. And who gains. Okay.
The other place is Takwa. Takwa is where George Merkuduka is MP4. Big constituency. Huge constituency. All right. And it's been held by MPP. I think it's MPP's most important constituency outside the Takrady enclave. Takwa.
Okay. So let's see. Presidential.
Look at this. Even in 2012.
All throughout.
8% gap. 2016. Almost 30%.
30 something, yeah.
2020.
Closed
very
up,
close.
Yeah, closed up seriously. 51
in fact,
to 44.
2020 was much closer than even 2012. This is something clearly. I mean, look at that. 51-44 for 2020. This was 53 for MPP in 2012. So this NDC did better than the national performance here because, again, they feel like there was a lot of. I mean, look at the parliamentary. Look at that. But there was an independent candidate. So in 2020, 31,000 MPP, 31,000 NDC, 31,000 independent.
Yeah.
They split the vote 3 ways.
So, what does it look like for the next election?
I
Is Miracle safe?
I think Mercury has had 4 years to solve that problem. This 2020 was NDC's best chance to win it. And this independent candidate was the reason why it was this close. Because he's from an MPP side. I think he's had enough time to solve the problem. MPP has had enough time to solve that problem. Yes, the MPP's efforts at fighting Galamsey, although a lot of people think are not enough, will definitely still affect the incumbent government. So presidential-wise, NDC may probably maintain the same level. But I don't know, I need to get into the details. But I think that this was an aberration. Because look at this, 51, 44, 3. Then you have essentially a 3-way, clearly the independent candidate. Because the premise was inconclusive, there were so many fights. So this is what happened and this is what led to a 3-way split. So if in 4 years' time,
that issue hasn't been dealt with,
then you're going to have, so again, when you cross-check with a name and code, they will tell you the state of play. But it's definitely a prize that the two parties are fighting for massively. It's a big, because the numbers are just huge. Numbers are just huge. And this is unbelievable, right?
And the NDC's candidate, is it John Aban or some?
Justice John Aban.
Has he made any
33.4, 33.5?
Any new inroads?
Imagine, I think it's one of the closest winning margins in the country in 2020. 101.
That's close.
101.
That's close.
And there's something else you also need to know. Even though there's incumbency disadvantage because you've been minister, people are tired. I think if in the theory, my theory of strong men, in that my theory, Mercuryuka is a strong man for MPP. He even helps others. So now he's very powerful. So there will be spillover of Mercuryuka influence around constituencies like Mpoho. Right? Mercuryuka's strength is he's built his base. He's built his base. So it's going to be difficult to.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on Takwa.
The last one there
is Wassa East, right?
Is that Wassa East?
Yeah.
I think it's Wassa East. Now I'm getting confused. Wassa East.
You are thinking about the Takwa.
Wassa East.
How is going to find out?
Wassa East.
Yeah.
That is the third of the 3 large mining. This is why I said the NDC has a strong man as well. Right? So whilst Mercuryuka is a strong man in
the Takwa side,
NDC has done very well here because of this Isaac Ajay-Mensah. That's the guy I'm looking for. Now, mind you, Wilson Arthur is the owner of Sky FM. Sky FM is head there.
Yeah.
Wilson Arthur became the MCE. But Isaac Ajay-Mensah is not going anywhere. He's built his base with miners and cocoa people. He's a strong guy. So look, NDC, MPP has closed the gap. This is a very better up from 58 to 51. Look at that, it's coming down. 58 for NDC, 2012, 51.7, 51.1. So MPP is closing the gap, but parliamentary-wise, somehow they've held it. A 6,000 gap, a 2,000 gap, it's even gone to 3,000 gap. So they've actually opened. So this is my point. President is closing the gap on NDC. Parliament is not.
It's opening it for.
And Wilson is big and bad, but this guy is the real G. So he's not going to go. He's not going to go anywhere.
So Wilson cannot do anything to change this?
I don't think so. I feel like there are, I mean, this is purely on my theory of strong people. But what Wilson has done, I mean, Wilson has been, he has a media house that employs, in Takrady, Wilson is like the Kwesimintim of Takrady. Right? And he has a lot of influence. He has media houses, yet he's still unable to. This is
who is this guy? This Isaac.
So he was a deputy minister for roads under Mahama. He's a ranking member on, I think it's agricultural infrastructure in the NDC parliament. He used to be. I said he used to be the HR manager of one of the large mining companies in the Wassa East. I think Bogos, I remember, I forget the name. So he is popular within the mining communities. And being,
Yeah.
and you see, when you're at HR, you employ people from the
That's
communities.
it.
They know him.
They know
He
you,
does
the
community
families
work.
know, yeah.
So it's a bit like, even before entering politics, he's already popular.
Yeah.
Because he's helped people, he's known.
Yeah.
So it's just
HR of a big mining firm.
yes.
There.
So he will get. So he's very, and so he's very powerful.
Yeah.
So which is why I don't see the parliamentary seat shifting. But this is quite an interesting trend. This narrowing of
the presidential.
This narrowing, but this is not. Let's end with the Amenfis.
Okay. All right.
I think those are where all the issues are.
Final. Let's
Good.
see. So we do.
So Amenfi.
Should we start with the one on the contention?
Yes, that is very, very confusing because
Amenfi Central, right?
it is unbelievable because that one has. I'm not even sure it has been resolved.
No, it hasn't because I mean today.
Because there are two problems.
Yes.
The EC has disqualified the NDC candidate.
Yes.
Because
and
the current NDC MP initially went to court.
Yes. And then now
NDC to say they should remove him from parliament because he is going independent.
That's right.
And we don't know if the NDC lady will even Jan Kuju, whether she will even stand.
Well, because of the EC, the issue with the court and all that.
Yeah.
I mean, the EC, the court in court today, the court threw away what the NDC had, applied for, that they should keep her there. So, and the NDC has reapplied again. So we'll see how that pans out.
President-wise, of the three Amenfis, Amenfi West is strongly NDC. Amenfi Central, NDC wins it, but much less so. 58. So look, this is a good 58% to 39%. In 2020, Mahama gave Akufo-Addo a healthy 10,000 gap. All right. Now, the parliament is just 5K. All right. And now this gentleman has gone independent.
Well, he says that if the NDC lady doesn't go through, he's willing to go back and take the NDC thing.
That's what he's saying.
Yeah. So, but the problem is, if the NDC lady goes through and he's still independent, that's a split of the end.
Yes,
and this guy is going.
So MPP stands a chance here. Because look at 2016. It was 17,000. In fact, let me do 2016.
2016, and let's see.
To show you how close it was. Look at that. In 2016, this NDC guy,
1702, and then
it was just 500 votes.
545.
500 votes.
Wow.
And NPP has maintained their guy.
So this is 2016, 20.
Yeah. So let's look at. So this is very close.
Yeah.
This is very close. So what the shenanigans of NDC in this constituency tells me that MPP may win it. MPP may win it. Although on the presidential side, NDC may win it, on the parliamentary side, it looks like this type of situation does not bode well for an opposition party. And this guy has been consistent.
Yeah.
All right. As I said, Wassa Amenfi East is, no, let's do Wassa West first. Because I think, sorry, Amenfi West, forgive me. Amenfi West is a much more straightforward situation. Amenfi West is a much more straightforward situation. This is what you have seen. It's not even close. PBR green.
I mean, that's
again 20
both ways.
In 2016, Vivian, 500 votes.
Yeah.
2016 just 500 votes difference, right? But 2020, let me pick it. Give me a minute. No, sorry, I'm Amenfi West. Sorry, Amenfi West. Amenfi West. Look at that. Actually, this is different. The parliamentary was much closer in 2020. Okay, so in the presidential, it's a clear NDC area, but in parliamentary, the MPP gentleman, so it's doing what the NDC does in other places.
On the other side,
So Abraham Kofi Asante, look at that. 30,000 for MDC, 28,000, just 2,000 votes. 620. This is Amenfi West.
This is 2020. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Abraham Kofi Asante. So this is going to be very, very close. Let's end with Amenfi East.
Yeah.
Where MPP actually does win. All right, Amenfi East, where MPP
Let's
actually
see
does
what the
work.
figures look like.
Yeah, for presidential. So this is Amenfi East. This is where you had the almighty swing. Historically, MPPs won it presidential twice, and this is taking it back. But it's a very dicey situation because in 2016 MPP.
Yeah.
So there was a skirt and blouse situation in 2012 where MPP wins the presidency and this wins the parliamentary.
Yeah.
But since 2016, it's followed. MPP wins the parliamentary and the presidential, but the numbers are very, very, very close as well.
Yeah.
So as we have 36K, 29,000. And so this is 2020, right?
Yeah.
So it's up in there. It's, for me, the one that's most, I think Amenfi West is pretty straightforward for NDC.
Okay.
Amenfi Central could be skirt and blouse because of the
issues,
situation.
yeah.
Amenfi East has shown that NDC has come back.
Okay.
Right? It used to be MPP. NDC has come back. And I showed you the continuities to the central region. So this depends on the personalities. You need to speak more closely to your... So the Western region is pretty interesting.
Very interesting. You know, I haven't looked at it this way, especially when you did your analysis on the presidential. Made it really, really interesting. So it explains a lot of gifts they get, quote unquote, from the region, from the government or from the president, running across the various, you know.
My theory for Amenfi is that because 2016 was MPP's best year, and NDC is coming back in 2020, it's going to be difficult for MPP to flip it now.
For 2024.
Yeah, because it's almost like the trend is going up for NDC. The trend is coming down for MPP. And it's the same for the parliamentary as well. Okay. So unless there's a major problem with the NDC's selection, you don't expect any major overhaul. Okay.
You know, you did your 4 groupings, but within your 4 groupings, you did the middle part, which you call the battlefield.
Yes. It's still the same. I actually wanted to show you what I call the mining, but for some reason, let me do my Western breakdown. I wanted to show you my Western breakdown.
Of all the mining constituencies, right?
Yeah, but
and what it looks like. It's not popping up properly.
It's not doing what I wanted it to do.
Okay, I'll take a quick break and see if you can fix that, and then you take me through, because you're whetting my appetite, and I can't go without that breakdown you want of the mining areas. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
It's time for the beauty, fashion, and wellness industry's most prestigious events of the year. After 7 sensational editions, we're back with the 8th annual Africa Makeup and Beauty Fair and the Ghana Beauty Awards. It's the Synergy edition. Join us as we celebrate the artistry, creativity, and innovation that define the world of beauty, fashion, and wellness. From the latest trends to 37 prestigious awards up for grabs, from exhibitions to beauty.
Complete this rhyme. Twinkle, twinkle, little star.
How are you working how?
Who's that?
You're welcome back to The Situation. Thank you very much for staying with us throughout. We're wrapping up and we're looking at the mining areas, Bernard, the mining communities.
So we managed to derive some mining where we have let me just show you the community. So we have Takwa, Prestia,
Amenfi,
the
East,
3 Amenfis,
Amenfi West, and Amenfi
and then there's
Central.
we've added a few. All right, so these are when you put the western mining constituencies together. There's Wassa, Ellembele, Jomoro, Ahanta West, but these are the mining constituencies. When you put them together, the western mining enclave, you have a very interesting situation. 2012 NDC, 2016 MPP, 2020 NDC. But look at how close it is in 2020, 49, 47.
Yeah.
Very, very close, right? 2016, it's still closer than the national average. So generally, the mining is closer and tends to favor, it tends to favor the opposition.
Yeah.
All right, because this 2016 figure, MPP did much better nationally, but it's much closer. And then 2020, NDC wins it. Look at how close it is, 47, 49. We've just put that together to show you that there will be a mining story in this election. And depending on how voters in those communities perceive the two parties, if they perceive one party as coming to destroy their livelihoods, the party may suffer. Or the party is destroying, which is why the NDC doesn't talk that much about mining. And MPP says you are unfairly targeting us because it affects our votes. And looking at how close the mining communities did in Western region, you need to pay attention to the campaign messages to tell you what's going to happen, because it's very close.
It's
very close.
All right, Bernard, thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Western region was fun.
Yeah.
We'll move to Western North at a point, right?
Very soon.
Okay.
Very soon.
So thank you very much. Thank you to you out there bringing us to an end to our edition on the Western region, the parliamentary elections, how it pans out in that region. Of course, we'll look forward to 2024 in a few weeks to see what the real results will be. Stay with us throughout the elections. Our hashtag is Ghana Polls 2024, and keep up with all you need to know on the elections. This is The Situation Room. My name is Vivian Kai Loko. See you again. Goodbye.